Hi, this is Louis with ACF Home Inspections, and today we'll be going over a quick overview of your inspection summary report. At the beginning page, we have the photo there, and this is for Jessica. We're going to start off with the exterior, which is lots and grounds. As you can see in the picture, and the comment says that there's vegetation is set too close to the house, and that's these bushes here. There should be a distance of about 16 to 18 inches away. You should be able to walk behind them. This will allow the foundation to dry out during the rainy seasons and not allow any pests to accumulate behind there. The second one is the gates need to be adjusted so that they close properly and so that they latch. You got a section in the back, as you can see in the picture here. It's just leaning. It's just resupporting it, getting it to sit up straight once again. As noted, I think also on a termite inspection, there's WDO damage to the fascia. The fascia is the board that runs along the outside. You have the gutters here. That's that outer area. And you can see right there where the wood's a little damaged from water. That's all it really is. It's just damage from water. Shouldn't be too difficult to repair. Unfortunately, the gutter's in the way, so the gutter may have to be removed depending on the extent of the damage that's beyond the area that we can see. Number 4, we have the soffits. These here are the soffits. It's what runs along the outside of the house, and this is where the attic breathes. It's been painted, so all the little holes here, these little perforated holes that are in there have been covered with paint, which now is restricting the airflow into the attic, which over time may create a bigger issue of heat transfer, the attic being hotter, so it'll tend for the house to maybe even stay warmer because the wood in the attic, such as the trusses, will hold heat because it is getting hotter in there and we're not getting enough airflow into the attic. Number 5 is the aluminum sliding glass doors. They just need to be adjusted so that they latch properly. A lot of times it's just adjusting the rollers. It's hard to close that door and make it lock. You actually need 3 hands almost to get it to close. But we were able to get it to lock. It's just a minor adjustment just to make it easier to close those doors. Okay, your hose bibs is where you connect your water hose. They're missing anti-siphon valves. They're very inexpensive. They run, I think the maximum for the Go ones is about $18 and then go as low as $5. And it would go right here where the picture shows. This is where you connect your water hose. Right at the end is what's known as an anti-siphon valve or a backflow valve. There was 3 that we noted that were missing. Just buying 3 and having them installed. Now moving on to number 7, which is the garage area. As you can see in the picture, the garage control button is damaged here. I would recommend replacing it. And the single car garage door would not open or engage. So you may want to have a contractor that installs doors or garage door openers to evaluate that and see why he's not functioning the way he should. I would press the button and it would sort of start to do something and then shut off right away. Okay, number 8. This is the door that leads in from the garage into the house. And as you can see in the picture, he's not sealing properly. You can see some daylight underneath there. A lot of times this will be an adjustment or replacing this weather seal at the bottom. In the garage again, the exterior wall, it appeared that it properly was recently painted. And in the garage, you can see right here, we have a moisture stain on that wall. We could not identify anything in the attic or on the exterior. So I'm unsure where this stain would come from. I would recommend maybe painting it and monitoring it, seeing if anything else is going on there. But we were unable to identify where the stain is coming from. I see a shelf here. They may have placed something up there that had moisture, but we could not identify why that stain was there. In the garage, once again, they added an outlet, as you can see here. It has what's known as an open ground. They probably did not connect the ground wire to it, or the outlet itself is defective. I would recommend replacing the outlet or having it checked to make sure that the ground wire is connected. Okay, the roof. The roof is architectural shingles. We could not find a permit where it may have been replaced, so we have to make the assumption that it's original. Architectural shingles normally last 25 years, so the house is 24 years old, so it appears that this roof here is original and may be near the end of its service life. As you can tell in the first picture, we can actually see what's the fiberglass or the underlayment, so the granules are coming off. We have a nail here that's actually popped through the shingle. This is the same one right here. It's just for more identification purposes. It's right next to a plumbing vent. And then, of course, we have more exposed nails here, more exposed nails there. You can see this area here is worn out. And then it looked like they had a tree that they trimmed up, and it caused damage to the shingles right here. And I believe this is the right side of the house at the front. Now, moving along to your plumbing, we have your water heater. It does have a drain pan, but there's no pipe here. There should be a pipe here that leads over the little ledge there. We have rusting at the bottom, which is not something that we would normally find. That's indicating there may have been water there at one time. Plus, someone has turned the temperature up. Normally, the maximum you want the water to be is about 120 degrees. We're at 134. I would recommend turning it back down to 120 degrees. Again, on the water heater, there's what's known as a TPR valve, which is this valve here, and then we have the pipe. You can see the arrows going to it. This pipe should actually extend all the way down into the pan, or should extend outside. It should be about 3 inches from the ground in case this valve ever goes off. We don't want hot water shooting out of here at such a high elevation where it may hurt someone or cause damage to the wall. Once again, the drain pan here, this should have a pipe that leads all the way to here and extends over this lip and down, so that way we may not cause damage to the wall there if it does leak. If it leaks here, it's going to maybe lead back towards the wall. That's the reason for having a drain pan, is to protect the walls and any damage. Here's your HVAC system, which is a heating and cooling system. We know while we're in there, we could not get the temperatures down low enough to properly meet what we consider to be our requirements. We want to see what's known as a 17-degree temperature difference between the air going in, which would be this one right here. This is your return air intake, where we got a 78-degree temperature, and this is the conditioned air where you're getting the cooler air coming out once the heat was removed, is 64. So we can see we're not getting the 17 degrees that I feel comfortable with. So we want to have the AC serviced to see why he's not reaching that temperature. The unit on the exterior should be sitting on a pad, whether it be excuse me, fiberglass or concrete, and it should be secured to that pad. The unit outside was not secured to the pad. Very simple thing to do. Usually they'll take two brackets, one on each side, and they'll put some what's known as concrete screws or Tapcon screws in to make sure it's held in place. Okay, now to the bedrooms. In the bedrooms, most of the closets that have these slider doors usually have what's known as a guide at the bottom here, so it does not allow the door to swing inward or outward. It's supposed to just keep them in track there. The doors do not have them in the master bedroom. Also in the master bedroom, we have a window where the little locks, they have these little metal clips here, and they're popped out of place, so the window will not open. These clips are actually preventing the lock from opening. So it's a simple repair, but it should be something that should be done. They just need to be properly put back in place. We have your ceiling fan in the master bedroom, also did not respond to normal controls. I was unable to reach the chain, but normally we're going to use a switch to turn it on and off. So we want to have the seller check that, see if the fan is bad. Okay, now this is the left front bedroom. We have the same thing with the closet doors. It's missing the little guide track at the bottom. It's missing the little inserts at the door. Usually they're either plastic or brass. It should not be the exposed wood. Inexpensive thing to do, but you want to have them in there so you don't get a splinter when you put your fingers in there when you're trying to open the door. Okay, the left midway bedroom, same thing with the sliding doors. They're missing a little guide track at the bottom. Excuse me, the same side. This is the window on the left side. For some reason, someone put screws into the frame. I'm wondering if maybe the window had been broken at one time, or during a hurricane, they put plywood up and drilled some holes and put screws in to hold them in place, which is something I tend to see from time to time. Not a big deal here. I would definitely take and seal these holes. You can use some paintable caulking to seal them up or replace the window. But sealing the holes up would be the important part. We don't want any moisture getting in to the wall through those little gaps. Okay, left rear bedroom, same thing with the sliding glass, sliding closet doors. It's missing the guide at the bottom. Inside the closet, I guess they must have put a lot of weight on the shelf. You have a shelf here, there's a shelf above, and this is a support rod. Somehow or another, they probably put a lot of weight on it and it punched a hole in the wall. I would recommend getting this fixed so it doesn't come out through the other side of the wall, and then it'll be visible on both sides. The same bedroom, they installed new hinges, but they put them in upside down. A simple repair, popping the hinge pin out and putting it in from the top. Normally the head of the hinge pin would be on the top side of both of these hinges. Now we move on to the family room. In the family room, just in front of the chimney, this would be the fireplace right here. There was an area that was repaired here, and there was an area just to the right of it that had been repaired. It stands out. We were in the attic. We did not really find anything there, but I did find moisture stains on the roof sheathing, which indicated that there was a leak at one time by the chimney, which should be something that should be checked out. And I think this is something that will show up further into the report. We have the dining room. We have the springs that popped out, as you can see in this picture here. Springs popped out there. The springs popped out. This is the window. It will not stay open because of the springs being popped out of place. Normally there's little plastic clips that hold them in there, or plastic clips that hold them in place, and that's usually what holds the window up. So you want to get a window person to come out and either replace the springs or pop them back in place and put the retaining clips back in. Just to the right of the window, you can see I marked it. There's a loose outlet. Not a very big repair. It's taking the cover off and tightening the screws up and securing it properly to the wall so it has no movement. Now the living room, we have the same thing here. You can see we have a spring that's popped out, and this is the left window. So you want to get that spring serviced so that the window will actually stay open and in place without the fear of the other spring giving way and the window closing itself and possibly breaking the glass if it falls. Okay, this is a hallway on the right side. We have an outlet. It has an open ground. As you can see, the light there is not lit up. Once again, they may have changed this outlet out and not connected the ground wire properly, or the outlet itself could be defective and may need replacing. Moving on to the bathrooms. In the bathrooms, we have the master bathroom. You have a pocket door. These don't tend to work well most of the time. They're always needing some type of maintenance and adjustment. The door itself does not roll smoothly, and you can see there's a gap on the top, so it just needs a little adjustment. That may be the reason why the lock here will not latch. He's actually sitting a little lower, so adjusting the door will put everything this to work properly. This is the light in the master bathroom. This is the light above the shower. There's a cover that goes above this. It's a waterproof cover. Being that it's above the shower, it should have it on there, just to ensure that no moisture gets in here, and that there's never the opportunity that if water's shooting up there that anyone get electrocuted. Okay, now moving on to the hall bathroom toilet. You have to hold the handle in order for it to flush properly, and that's just a minor adjustment of the flapper. Nothing too big or grave, but you want to have it adjusted to make sure that you don't leave no one leaves any surprises behind when the toilet is used. Move on to the laundry room. In the laundry room, you have a sink, and then we have the two valves that are underneath. The valve handle and the stem are damaged, and it's missing the handle. Plus, you can see the little water at the bottom. It's actually dripping, so we want to get this valve replaced, so you'll be able to, in an emergency, turn the water on or off as needed, and so that it will not leak. Okay, we go into the attic. In the attic, we have two entrances. We have one at the garage and one at the master bedroom. There's areas where there's fallen insulation and areas where there's missing insulation or doesn't have enough. Normally here in Florida, we would have 6 inches of insulation. Excuse me once again. And here we go. You can see that this insulation here should be up against the wall. You can see the backing here. So what happens is this wall will get hot. The heat will transfer through, and your AC will have to work harder to maintain that area of the house cooler. Just as we see here, I can see what's known as the truss, or the 2x4 trusses. Usually a 2x4 is less than 4 inches, so we know we don't have 6 inches of insulation there. We do not have it here either. As you can see, several areas along here. Here's another spot where the insulation is fallen off. We want to put the insulation back on there to keep the heat in the attic side. And once again, we can see all the 2x4s there. We see the 2x4s here. And actually, this area here is where that repair was in the family room, because this is the pipe for the chimney. So the areas that were repaired here are in this location. Once again, we see that there's missing insulation there. And then this is where the chimney is. So we're looking, this is that pipe again. This is the wall on the outside, and you can see there's staining there, and we have staining here. This is the same location, just from a different view. So we know there was a leak there at one time. We'd want to get a contractor to go out and look at that to see if it's still leaking, to do testing to make sure this is not an ongoing issue. But it's something that should be checked out. And then in the garage attic access, there was no cover, so we want to make sure that there's a cover there. At this point, this may be the only thing that's helping out, because the soffits were painted, so this being open is allowing air to flow through and out to keep the attic cool. But if we cover this the way we're supposed to, that attic has nowhere to breathe, and it'll tend to get a lot hotter in there. Okay, onto the pool. The pool motor looked like it was newer, but it was not secured. You can see here they got little tabs there. The motor should be secured to the pad. Same thing with the filter. He appears to be newer. He should be secured. Move on to the screen around the pool. There's a bunch of the screws that hold the frame down for the screen are missing, as you can see there. I have several pictures of the missing screws. They should be reinstalled. You have a couple areas where the screen is damaged, like right here, and right here they put painter's tape, it looks like. And we have one of the cables that holds the screen together. This is what keeps the support from it swaying back and forth. It was broken off. We want to get this guy reattached properly so that we know you're not going to have any problems in the future. If we have a storm where the screen structure will tend to move, this will help hold it in place a little bit. We have the pool light. It did respond, but we did not verify that it was GFCI protected. We want to have the pool company come out and look at those components and make sure that that light is on a GFCI circuit. We were unable to locate any GFCI circuit that protects the pool light. Moving on to the fireplace. The fireplace is in the family room. We found some of these stones in the garage. I don't ever recall seeing anything like this. They may not be rated for use in a fireplace. They may be, but I did not find any labeling on them. So you want to get it what's known as a wet certified chimney contractor, and that's WETT, wet certified chimney contractor, to come out and do a further evaluation to make sure that these are rated to be used in there. Plus, we want them to clean the pipe out. You can see all the debris in here when I opened the damper, and I was unable to close it because now all this debris has just started to fall in. So it needs to be serviced. This fireplace should not be used till this is cleaned out and serviced. Now on to the chimney. At the chimney, we can see somebody has modified it. It's never good to modify things, especially when you're using fire. I do not believe that this cap that they added on is rated for use in a fireplace. They should have replaced the one that was here with one that's rated for use with the fireplace. So once again, you want to get what's known as a wet certified, as we have here, a wet certified contractor to come out and look at this. I pretty much think he's going to say this is not going to vent properly, so it should be replaced with the proper type. We have some rusting at the top on this metal here, so you want to get that checked and paint it or cover it somehow so it eliminates that rusting, because sooner or later you'll start getting holes and you'll get water leakage. Just like here, they have a nail on top that needs to be properly sealed. Pretty much that covers most of the items on the summary report. We would recommend that you get licensed contractors to look at most of the important things, such as the roof, the AC, and the fireplace, because those are very important items, so that they can assess them and make the proper recommendations of what should be done to those things. Plus, I guess, an electrician to fix the few outlets that do not have the grounds, and getting the soffits opened up so that the attic can breathe properly again. Well, this is Louis with ACF Home Inspections. Hopefully I covered all the topics on here for you. If not, you can always email us, and we'll be more than happy to contact you with our answers on any of the concerns that you have. Alrighty, thank you very much for using ACF Home Inspections. We look forward to serving you in the future and answering any questions that you have. Thank you very much, and you have a good day.